Is everybody returned?
I'm here.
Me too.
Cool. I thought we were gonna get Evelyn today, but I guess not.
I think Lumina is still in Switzerland,
Yeah, she would.
so
I
they're
was
kind of.
I was talking to him yesterday. She said she was.
Hmm.
She said she wanted to play, but I figured it was a 50-50. Yeah, they showed me their some pics of them in their Fae and Joy cosplay.
Yeah, I met them on the train once when I was driving to university, and they told me they were going shopping
Oh,
for
nice.
cosplaying.
Cool.
It was fun meeting Lumina in person.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure. Let me see if I
It
have.
wasn't planned or anything. It was just like I saw a crazy chick like running towards the train door and was like, what's her deal? And then I saw it was Yuna and darted towards my department in the train and sat down and smiling and like, what's happening? And then Lumina came after her and was like totally surprised, and I was totally surprised. It was fun.
Nice. That's pretty
Is
crazy.
Switzerland that small that you randomly meet people?
Oh no, it was random, but Yuna and I live pretty close to each other, and my train always um, like halts in the city she's living in. So there was a small chance that it would happen. Yes. Like Switzerland is small, but not that small.
So it's not just two cities.
No, not really. Depends on what you call a city.
Nah, I mean you have to have a lot of space for all that Nazi gold, I guess.
Yeah, true.
That's still pretty. That's a that's a pretty cool chance encounter.
True, yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I also didn't know how long that Lumina was in Switzerland, so I thought it was just like a weekend and she was gone. But it was in the middle of the week, so.
Yeah. Did did Huna get moved all the way?
Yeah, she moved to her new place.
Oh, cool.
Like I haven't seen it yet because she once invited me, but then it didn't work out. Now she like doesn't invite me anymore, so I don't know.
um, yeah, and then I don't know if anybody saw that link I posted the other day, but I found this uh, this rule set system basically called Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and it's kind of like a cleaned up, reskinned version of D&D First Edition. Um, and I think I'm going to start working on a game for that. So if anybody's interested in playing, it'll be like very different than this probably. It'll be um, far less magical and um, basically all the regular people in the world will be peasants for the most part. There might be one wizard in 100 miles, like, um, but the campaign they have a campaign setting for it, and it's called A Red and Pleasant Land, um, and it's like this vampire king and this evil queen who's kind of like the queen from Alice in Wonderland, who are at war with each other. And there's a part of the world that's called Quiet Side, where all the normal people live, basically, and the vampires come and take people to feed on and stuff like that sometimes.
So when are you thinking about running?
I ordered the books on Amazon, so when I get the hard copies of the 2 books, I'll read through both of them, and then probably get familiar with the rules more, and prepare some beginning part of the world, and then and then I'll be ready to go. So probably not till like the start of June.
I meant more the day and
Oh
time.
yeah,
Wise.
gotcha. Yeah, probably like Sunday mornings maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not quite as early as this game starts. Maybe like 2 hours later. Uh, but it seems like a fun. It seems like a kind of a cool. I would like to try some of the older versions of D&D that I've never really played, you know. But the setting and the world and the reskin of the. I posted the PDF of the Lamentations of the Flame Princess, the book, the like player's handbook essentially. Um,
Where's it at? Where'd you post it?
it's just up a little bit. Here, I'll post it again.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. It's like they released a art-free PDF version so people can use it. But it's kind of like a grim and gory thing. There's some other pretty cool. It looks like there's some other interesting adventures that they've made for it. There's one called shoot. There we go. There's one called like No Salvation for Witches. To strike a blow against the patriarchy, 6 women perform a dangerous rite in an abandoned priory. Through dance, they commune with Terfiscorch, Greek muse and patroness of dancers. Starving demons slither across the moors, monstrous nuns shriek in their infirmary, and within the attic a great unraveling awaits. The fate of the world rests in the hands of the players. Will they bring about an egalitarian utopia? Will they skulk away in the night, pockets bulging with treasure? Will they bring about the destruction of all things? Will they find and track Teratology, a randomly generated creature summoning ritual with 3.6 quadrillion combinations? After this adventure, nothing will be the same, and it takes place in England 1620.
You should try to strike a blow against the patriarchy at that time. You're gonna get fucking burned.
Well, they are witches. Yeah, it's called No Sanctuary for Witches. That's what that adventure is called.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember a little bit about this. That all the races that you didn't play a character class, you played a race.
Yeah.
Also in this.
So it's like humans, elves, dwarves.
Halflings.
Dwarves can't be magic users.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks kind of fun, and I've only really ever played 5th edition, so I'd like to play some other stuff, and that's kind of rooted in D&D history. It's basically 1st edition Dungeons and Dragons, just kind of reskinned to this other setting, kind of.
No, Tui, I don't know if I have like the time to join another game,
Yeah.
but I don't know what's happening to Lumina's game. So if that would stop somehow, I could see myself like.
Did you guys play last week?
No, because she was already in Switzerland.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
But I assume she plans to continue it?
Yeah, well, I sat down with her for like an hour or an hour and a half, and
Mm-hmm.
I helped her a little bit with kind of I made some tokens and monsters for her, and just gave her some. She asked me for some advice, basically on preparation and things like that.
All right, so I assume it's that she didn't stop or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope not. I'd like to play that. I'd like to play a little more in that game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. But if everyone has returned, you guys find yourself on the far side of the second boulevard that you clambered down. The set of stairs here was all broken and ruined. You can see now the cult fanatics up above, directing the mutated ogre up towards the temple with his large brick of obsidian, and you can see this large black spiny structure just kind of glistening in the gray with black blood oozing down its walls. You guys make your way to the edge of the river where Alessandra loses the tracks of who Wuce knows might be Robert or Reek, the last remaining party from the last remaining member of the party of Magnus. But she's kind of lost his trail here. You're close enough to the temple now to realize, though, that there's not much more. There's not many places for him to go anymore. If he did come this way, he either jumped into the river, swam across, made his way up into the temple, or went down south deeper into Omu, where you can kind of see in that direction there are more of the ogres coming up with more bricks of obsidian. It's very slow going for them though, and they're moving at a pretty slow pace. Currently, there's one south of you, just out of, well, not just out of view, but they're trying to get the brick um, up onto the boulevard itself. So the ogre's kind of struggling to do so on his own, um, uh, but they're trying to. The one beneath you to the south is trying to get a brick of this obsidian up onto the boulevard like the other one has his. Um, you can see beyond that one, there's another group of cultists with one more of these ogres, um, but he's like a few hundred yards away.
How fast is the river moving?
It's moving at a fairly decent pace. Up in the edge of the city. There's another waterfall, so there's kind of water misting here, and it kind of clears out the ash a little bit. Um, and it's moving at a decent pace. There's not really any like rapids or anything, which would make you think that the water is fairly deep, but but it is moving. It's probably not moving so fast that a person who's not wearing like heavy armor couldn't swim across it, um, but you just never know.
Right. Well, he did come up this way, and there's not, not much else but the temple here. So I suppose that could have been his destination.
It did look to be Babar's destination. He looked like he was trying to make a beeline for it with Magnus's body.
And since he chose to go here, I suppose they know this place, and probably they may have been here before. But do we really want to go inside that temple? fuck it then. Let's let's
I'm
go.
up for it.
You can see up at the front of the temple here, the face of it that you can see. It's kind of it's like a very shitty pyramid almost. Like it's the ogres, can kind of clamber up the sides. Um, there's a big opening, a big dark opening in the center of the front of the temple. There doesn't really appear to be any windows or anything really, but there are like natural openings where the stones don't quite fit that you can kind of spot. It seems like maybe this band of cultists arrived last, and they're hastily trying to get their temple up and whatever offering that may lie inside for the birth of whatever, or the event of whatever is going to happen, or whatever they expect to happen from the volcano soon. But it's quite clear that these three factions are building these temples to try and curry the favor of something that's soon to take place. There wouldn't be really much other reason for them to be here, because they're all like humanoids. Like they seem to be mostly humans.
So they weren't born in here.
Yeah, most of them don't look to be all like scarred and misshapen, and it looks like they probably haven't been here for too long enough to get these temples erected, and they are clearly in service of some of the darker deities of Faerun, and just from what you know about the Soulmonger and the stuff happening back on the Prime Material plane, the reason for the Soulmonger is it's collecting souls and feeding some kind of entity that is eventually going to awaken. And so these cultists have come here probably to the Shadowfell to give their offerings to whatever that creature might be, to perhaps gain its favor.
Does it look like we could make it to the entrance without being noticed?
It's definitely possible. The cultists seem pretty focused on their job of directing the ogre with his work. They do kind of have high ground on you, but the ash is falling, and with the help of Alisanda's magic, it seems like you kind of it almost looks like you've all kind of been covered in ash, and so you blend in very well with the backdrop of your surroundings. And if you're careful and cautious, you might be able to make it up to the temple to get a better look at what's around it.
I'd say that's our best bet in catching this guy. And if we have to go inside, I suppose we could kick over some statues or take a shit on his altar or something just to spite him.
Keep in mind that he can turn invisible.
Yes, but if we take we have some perceptive people. If they just take a good look at the ground, well, if you go inside it, shit, well, fuck. If you feel there's something invisible near you, just scream, and we'll flail our arms around with the swords and hope we hit him.
Also, quick question, like out of character. I don't remember, but did he still have the halo?
He did.
Okay.
that was the only thing that was spotted coming through the portal,
Right.
and he kind of made his getaway as the tornado of bones kind of began to coalesce and assault you guys.
All right. In that case, if we could just get within, eye shot of this guy, I could pick him out. I can force him out into the open.
Okay, well, I guess our best bet is to continue on to the temple then.
So Alessandra kind of takes the lead, staying kind of behind some of the rubble and ruins, and there's kind of a big portion of open area that the ruins kind of fall off, and there's this space between the temple and the edge of the ruins where it's mostly just shriveled and withered trees, kind of sparsely spaced out. Why doesn't everybody give me a stealth check plus 10 to make it between this gap without being spotted?
Oh boy. Clunk, 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 clunk.
14 is still good. 18 is good. 9 is good.
I have disadvantage though, so it's 11.
Oh, it's 11. Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're not sneaky.
Well, it is like Alessandra begins to cross, and Wuce follows behind, Garn behind him, and then Sigismund, you kind of absent-mindedly, before you step out into the clearing, basically you put your hand up against the wall of one of the ruined structures, and a piece of rock kind of breaks off of it, or stone, and crumbles down, creating some noise. And you hear two cultists begin shouting, and you look to your left, and you see the big ogre beginning to remove his straps, and he turns and leaps down off of the edge of the boulevard, and he does know one was just short because the cultist had a 12 on his perception.
Fuck, I
Yeah. I appreciate the honesty though, so go ahead and give you an inspiration for that.
No, thank you.
And
I'm gonna need it, I guess.
And then I'd like everybody to get their tokens down, and we'll roll some initiative here.
Are we staying on this map?
Yeah, we're staying on this map. I'll drop you guys down here. So we had Thalia and Sorey, who had not quite gone yet. Garn and Sigismund, you're probably right about here. Wuce, and then Alessandra. So why don't you guys go ahead and roll some initiative for me?
Kapow! 0.
Interesting initiative.
Wuce, you are up with a stealth check of 30. It's pretty clear that the creatures and the creature and the cultist focus is all directed down directly at Sigismund currently.
So, is this map to scale then?
Yeah, it would be pretty close.
Okay.
It's difficult to. It's not technically to scale because like I can only with the mapping tool set I've been using. Like I wish I could make the temple way bigger than it looks. So there's some things that are like it's just within the confines of the tools that I'm using, but like the landscape itself is pretty much to scale. Yeah.
What is this? A temple for ants?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. In actuality, the temple's like probably 70 or 80 feet tall.
Well, it was more that they're so close to us that this thing coming at us. I can't put any spell down because I'm going to hit everybody.
Yeah, you guys were in pretty close proximity. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said their focus is on Siggy, though?
Yeah, I probably fucking fell over or something.
Alright, I'm gonna get up to the troll and attack it, I guess. Or ogre, whatever that thing is. Would this be a surprise attack for me then, or?
Yep, I would say so.
And is it using dark vision?
I believe that it does have dark vision. Yes.
So that's a crit. Because I attack with advantage. But it would be a crit anyway because it was a surprise.
Uh-huh.
Crit.
Your first roll does the crit, by the way.
Okay, don't take the second one, but I still get the 2 sneak attacks, right?
Yes.
Six, 37 on the first attack.
Nice.
Why do you get 2 sneak attacks?
Because you double the dice that you roll.
Oh, right, because it's a crit. Yeah. 37 total damage.
Okay.
Nice.
It's not undead, right?
It is not undead.
Okay, so 37. And then I get to attack it again as part of the Dread Ambusher. $16.
16 is a miss.
And then, so if it's, how are you doing surprise again?
So you take your turn, and then you take your surprise round, and then it's your turn again.
So then I don't do the offhand then, because it's only the first weapon. How does I'm just
You
trying to
can
remember.
you basically take. You take a turn for a surprise, and then you go into normal initiative.
Okay, so then I'll just do the offhand as well. 26.
Yeah, 26 is a hit. Nice. So now it's just your turn. He is quite aware of you now.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll just try and hack at him some more. $27.
Yes, sir.
It's for 15.
So Wuce rushes in at the ogre with a flourish of attacks, carving through his abdomen. Deep gashes appear, and this black blood begins to drip out down the front of his heavily musculared bare chest and abdomen.
It's not dead, is it?
Nope.
Then I'm gonna do my offhand as well.
Okay.
27.
Yes, sir.
For 11 more. And then my turn's over now,
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
I need you, Sigismund, to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Let's see.
19.
19. You see one of the cultists above on the boulevard step to the edge and look down upon you and hold out a hand. Momentarily, you feel like he's trying to cast some sort of spell over you, but with resolve, it fails. From the far side of the temple, he's probably farther behind, so he will wait till next round before he emerges. Alisanda fires a couple of arrows into the large ogre. And does a third attack as well. 24 or 5.
And then she gets to go again.
She is not an assassin.
Okay, but you said this was a surprise round because the three of us were all in stealth. The top three of us.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess, yeah, so she goes again, yeah. I was just thinking of Wuce's assassin features. I always get, like, caught up on that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so then she fires another round of shots into the creature. $10, $20, $4, $5, $36.
Is she doing it into the ogre?
Yep.
So she would be invisible to him? Or it?
Yeah.
So that would mean she'd have advantage on him.
So she fires 6 arrows with blinding speed, all kind of sinking high in the beast's chest, and he falls dead to the ground.
Take that.
Sorey, you're up.
So this is a surprise round.
Yes, I guess. Yes. The cult fanatic should have never gone. Oh well, at Sigismund, he could have gone at Sigismund. That's it. Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Fireball.
One fail, one save. A roaring ball of flame consumes the two cultists up on the boulevard.
Are these cultists humans?
Yeah, they're humans. As the flames die down and subside, they look charred and burned, but they both still remain standing. So, Garn, you're up.
Let's see. I'll make a double move, and I'm right there.
Okay. And Thalia.
Yes, so this thing right that leads up to the boulevard, is this some kind of stairs?
Oh, sorry. Those stairs are kind of like broken and crumbled. So Garn, just give me a strength check to climb up it, the side of the wall.
Or athletics.
Athletics, yeah. 16 is more than enough, and you scramble up the side of the broken down stairs. You kind of go up the first part that's like broken, and there's a gap, and you leap across and grab the edge, pull yourself up, and get up onto the top of the boulevard.
See, I don't need no stinking elf to throw a human to throw me.
I just watched that last night.
Watched what?
Lord of the
Lord of the
Rings.
Rings.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll try to move like up here.
Sure. Yeah. Just give me an athletics.
An athletics check.
Nice.
And I try to decapitate this guy.
Yeah, you
front of me.
scramble up the side of the wall and draw your blade at the top. With a flash, you sing out with your sword at the neck of the man, and his head does indeed get cleaved off of his body.
Nice.
He crumples to the ground in front of you in a pile of dark robes, and you have another attack, I believe. If you haven't finished your move, you can step up next
Can I
to
like it was like here, and I guess I can like move forwards to this
Yep.
tile.
Yeah, you'd be able to
attack
get.
the other-
I think you'd be able to get there. Well, I guess
Excuse
like
me.
you'd probably lose 10 feet of move up the side of the cliff, being like difficult terrain. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
Okay, so that's my turn.
And Sigismund, you're up.
Okay. Well, being slightly embarrassed that I set this whole thing off, I am gonna try something I haven't done yet, and I'm just gonna stretch out my hand and fire off like a radiant bolt and cast Eldritch Blast on the guy right in front of Garn.
Nice. 15 is a hit.
15. Yay!
A streak of divine light passes between you, Garn, and Thalia, striking the cultist right in his face.
For foe damage.
It's already kind of blackened and...
Don't you get 2 of them?
Yeah, I actually do. Which is lucky. So I'll try again. No, that one.
9 is a miss, yeah.
Yeah, well, semi-success. I'll take that. That's me.
And Wuce, you're up again.
Can I try and scurry up the wall and maybe jumping off the troll in a way to use acrobats instead of athletics?
Sure.
Acrobatics. My goal is to try and get where this dude's at right here.
Yeah, you start running up the back of the fallen ogre, and as you're about to like spring off and do a tuck and roll up to the top of the boulevard, you like step on one of his spines that run down his back, and it kind of throws you off, and you stumble a little bit, but then you can still try and clamber up the rest of the wall.
Alright, how do I do that?
Just make an athletics check, and you'll essentially lose 15 feet of move over difficult terrain.
10.
Yeah, you're having trouble getting a good hold, and on the wall, like you can almost reach the edge of the cliff face, but your like foot's throbbing now from the spine that pierced the bottom of your rat foot, and you can't quite get up to the top.
Alright, so where do I end up?
Kind of on the ogre's back. Yeah, at the edge of the boulevard.
I'm guessing that's my turn then.
Unless you want to make like a ranged attack or something.
Oh, I can still do that?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do it.
You can just barely see like the top of the cultist's head. 13 is a miss. No, 13 is a hit, sorry. Just hits.
For 19.
And your arrow zings from your bow in a little arc, and in front of you, Garn, you see this arrow from Wuce just pierce the forehead of the cultist in front of you, and he drops dead. The cultist a cultist from up behind the pyramid appears. Let's see, 5, 10, 15. He jumps down. 20. Let's see if he breaks a foot. He kind of rolls his ankle. Makes it to about here. Looks like he's heading for the entrance of the temple.
Wait, so did he land at that one spot, or did he...
He landed and took one step forward.
Would that give me an attack of opportunity on him, or no?
Yeah, I'd say sure. Yeah.
How does that work, though? I'm just asking because I don't know for sure, but...
He
It's just a regular attack.
He passes your square, so yeah, it's just you use your reaction to take an attack of opportunity against him.
I'd be using the bow, right? Because that's what I did last,
Yeah, probably.
and that still works. With the attack of opportunity, still works with the range weapon.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm
If
just
he
making
if he
sure.
passes your square. Yeah.
And he's not using dark vision, right? He's human, or is he?
I do not believe he has dark vision. No, he does not have dark vision. Yeah.
13.
Is a hit.
Dude, same roll as 13, 16. That's freaking weird. For 6.
All right.
Take that, yes, OB. So do we all notice he's trying to get to the
Oh
the
yeah,
temple?
for sure. Yeah.
Alisandra's gonna fucking
He
take
jumps
him
off
out.
the edge and kind of stumbles, kicking up ash. Stands up and begins to make his way towards the entrance of the temple. Alessandra goes down to one knee and lets loose a flurry of arrows. You did 6 piercing damage to him.
Yes, sir.
All 3 of Alessandra's arrows strike into the cultist. He stumbles a few steps forward and falls face first into the ash. Blood begins to pool around him. And everyone is dead, I believe.
Yay!
Thank God we didn't attract more attention.
Siggy.
What?
Thank God we didn't track more.
Yeah, I'm gonna attract a lot of attention in here.
I was gonna
I'm
make
basically
a,
gonna be a fucking lighthouse in here.
Yeah. If the cultists had made it into the temple, or if we had made it to the end of one more round, I was gonna roll checks for the group below you, but because you had the surprise round, it happened all pretty quickly before too much noise was made, and you guys were able to kill them all before the other group down below has taken notice. They're still pretty focused on trying to get their block up onto the boulevard, but once they do, they'll probably start to notice those bodies, so...
So, do we actually want to ambush them or make sure they don't follow us into the temple and we get squashed between them and something else?
Are these robes salvageable?
They're probably pretty badly burned.
What about the one for the one that Alessandra and I just took out?
It would have some blood on it, but other than that, that's not too uncommon for anybody currently in Shadow Omu. Everyone's a little bloody.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
See if we can utilize it somehow. Maybe we should move the bodies or something, so you're not just out in the open.
Can we drag that ogre? Like, it might be hard to hide.
It is a fairly large creature.
Oh yeah, I guess the ogre wouldn't be hideable.
So why don't we just go into the temple then?
Say again?
Why don't we just leave the bodies where they are and get on going? Because there's too many things. Look at all the bones all over the other place. More dead bodies ain't gonna matter.
It's very true. They might just chalk it up to getting ambushed by anyone, really.
All right.
Let's go inside.
You head for the inside of the temple?
Yeah.
All right.
When I reach the opening, though, I'll just grab a hold of Galadia and cast Death ward on myself.
Okay.
Thinking this might be a good time to do that.
As you make your way to the front of the temple, you can see that it's very dark inside. There's a long, dark hallway. It's probably maybe 60 feet long, and at the end of it, as you step in, Sigismund, you can see the soft flickering orange glow of what seems to be probably torchlight. You can see in the center of the chamber through this dark tunnel, there is some sort of there's like a large circle of obsidian that kind of raises up off the floor, and in the center of it, you see this pale human form. It seems to be kind of sitting on the edge of the stonework that circles the center of the chamber. It almost looks like a small pool or something, and you can kind of see this dark liquid, and the creature that's sitting there on the edge of it has its legs in this pool of dark liquid. You can see this black stone pillar in the center of the pool, and it appears that there is some sort of chain attached to it, and the chain leads actually to the creature, who around his midsection has some sort of harness that the chain attaches to as well. You kind of squint your eyes and you notice that behind the creature on its back is a pair of dark feathered wings, and occasionally the humanoid kind of tugs on the chain absent-mindedly. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
That's not gonna do. Oh, for fuck's sake!
And you just get kind of transfixed on this strange sight. It looks like this pale being it sort of looks like a male version of what Galadia almost used to be. It looks like it's an angel, but it's there's also something off about it. Its eyes are black and sunken, and it is chained here in the middle of this temple. You put together that this is probably the offering for whatever is going to be created by the soulmonger that's been trapped here. And he's sitting chained in this pool of blood in this chamber ahead of you, 60 feet ahead of you.
All right. Well, I'll start moving towards him.
You can see now, as there's no more ash or anything, there's a kind of a sticky film on the floor that's probably blood. And all of a sudden, as you guys are all making your way down this dark tunnel, points out that there are several sets of footprints leading in and out. Could be cultists, but someone recently did come through here.
Well, map's black for me.
Oh, sorry. Um,
Did I just see blood splatter on the screen?
There we go.
I don't see the halo in here, do I?
not with a 5 perception. But as you get closer and you come into the open mouth of the chamber, the winged figure in the central part of the chamber kind of stands, and he moves to the edge of the altar, and he tugs on his chain, and he's just kind of staring at you. And then out of the corner of your eye, off in a dark corner, you see a man sitting kind of with his knees up in front of him, tucked up in front of him, a dark halo over his head. He looks ragged and broken. He has a long, scraggly brown beard. He's wearing basically rags, and he also looks up as you enter.
Okay. For now, I'll ignore the man and get closer to the angel.
Let's see here.
Is the man Reek?
It is. He looks up as well when you emerge.
Where is he on the map? I don't see him.
I'm trying to find his token. I can't find his token.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, there we go. So he's kind of sitting over in this corner with his knees pulled up in front of him, looking pretty rough. He looks up as you all emerge through the tunnel. And I think he begins just kind of chuckling crazily, like this whole chamber is kind of blood dripping from the opening above down into this pool, and he sees you come in, and he just looks kind of crazy. He says, before you get to in front of the angel, he says, his voice kind of echoes out through the chamber, and he laughs and he says, I have something of yours, but there's nothing left you can take from me. And then Sigismund, you step before the angel. He's probably 9 or 10 feet tall. His black wings kind of span out behind him as you step closer. You can sense that he's celestial, but he has these dark pools of eyes, and he just looks down and stares at you in silence. You can sense, being a celestial being yourself, that he's basically been imprisoned. But he just stands there and stares down at you and doesn't make any move. You can see his chain kind of sinks into the pool of blood, and it's hard to tell how long the chain actually reaches.
Is it like it's shackled to him?
Yeah, he basically has a harness around his midsection, and it looks like the chain connects to the harness at his back between his wings.
Is there like a lock mechanism on it?
Doesn't appear to be.
Do we
Is it,
need to
like,
get him out?
bolted onto him?
There's a black ring basically that attaches to the harness, and there's no lock. It's just looks like a metal black ring that attaches to the harness and then to the chain. The chain sinks into the blood and then comes up again near the stone platform. There's a ring on the top of the stone platform, and then another ring that attaches from the chain to the ring in the platform. There's no locking mechanism.
So it's just like magically sealed around him? How did it get put on him?
It's hard to tell.
I'll take out Galadia and I'll try to bring it down as hard as I possibly can on the chain where it meets the where it sinks into the, on the edge of the pool. Trying to just shatter the chain.
Wait, do you know this angel's intentions?
If he's chained in here against his will, I mean, he's probably not part of the evil guys. I mean,
Still be
maybe.
evil,
Sure, he could.
Sorry.
Brian, I cast detect magic.
Okay. You sense something magical in the pool of blood. You sense something magical. The harness and the chain itself is magical. You sense a few different magical things coming from the man sitting crouched in the corner. That's about it, I think.
So there's no containment circle around him. It's just the chain holding him.
Yes.
Okay. And I tell you, the harness, the chain, and something in the blood itself is magical.
And hitting it won't actually do anything.
So
No idea.
Sigismund, where do you strike the chain again?
Where it sinks into the pool of blood, like where it's it lies on the edge of the pool, so I could just strike it. Basically I'm trying to sever it at the edge of the pool.
Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
I'm gonna fall in, am I not? Yeah, I am.
You bring Galadia up and you strike at the chain where it sinks into the pool of blood, and a blast of flame or a blast of heat and fire kind of erupt at the point where your blade meets the chain, and shoots down your blade and burns your hands, and you take 11 fire damage.
Ow.
The angel then kind of shrieks back from you and turns and kneels down and pulls a big two-handed sword from the pool of blood and turns back towards you and raises it over his head. I would like everyone to select their token and roll initiative for me.
Oh boy.
So I straight up can't see in here, huh?
You can see a little bit, right? Oh, sorry. I will. Yeah. So I mean, there is torch. There is torchlight hanging. I guess I didn't really make any torchlight, so I'll just It is pretty dark, but I'll just illuminate the map, I guess, because there are torches hanging around. I did draw the dynamic lighting for this map, but I forgot to add light spots for the torches, so that's my bad.
I mean, it's fine if I can't see anything. I was just wondering.
You'd be able to see enough. I'll have to remember to draw my light sources next time. Oh, the angel goes first. So the angel raises his blade above his head with 2 hands, and he casts Fallen Glory. All creatures within 50 feet of the chained angel and in its line of sight take 3d12 radiant damage and are knocked prone, or take half in damage and aren't knocked prone with a successful DC 15 strength save. So everyone make a strength saving throw for me. Nice. So Garn and Sorey take 18 radiant damage. The rest of you take half of that. And Garn and Sorey, you are knocked prone.
Can I use my uncanny dodge?
Sure.
And it's rounded up, right?
Rounded
down.
Rounded down, yeah.
Okay.
I can
So-
feel that it's radiant damage though, and not necrotic, right?
Yes.
This guy's a fucking good guy, I'm sure. He has to be.
Well, he used to be.
Does he look like he's like under a spell or something? Like
Maybe
is
the
he
chain
in
does
his right
something.
mind, or is he look like he's kind of being controlled, or what?
Well, he didn't attack you like initially right away as you came in, but as soon as Sigismund, struck the chain, he probably took it as a threat. So it's clear that he's at least not all there himself.
Don't forget to roll for your thief over there.
I did.
He did. He's
Yeah.
got 12.
Sigismund, you're up.
I am gonna try to grapple him.
Okay.
So, trying to see if I can't just restrain him.
You sheath Gladia and attempt to grapple the creature.
Yes. So that's just a strength check, right?
Yep. Opposed strength.
Ugh.
You reach out for him, and he's got his arms above his head, and he's just a flash of radiant light is basically flashed out through the entirety of the chamber. So you kind of try to grab around the harness or his waist, and he just kind of wrenches free from you.
Who?
Wuce, unless you have a bonus action.
Nah.
Okay.
What's the plan here, guys?
I don't think we had a chance to discuss it, so
So
do
just-
what you think is best.
We're not talking either. Is that what's happening? All right. Well.
Well, yeah, sure. I wanna try and save him, but it looks like I might be failing all over the
Whatever
place.
you say within 6 seconds is what you can say. So.
Well, that's what I'm waiting to hear if anyone's gonna say anything, but it doesn't sound like it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go after. Wait, so you said it is dark in here?
Yeah, there are basically torch sconces hanging on each of the pillars that are casting light out to about 20 feet. So most of the chamber is actually fairly illuminated on the inside. I just fucked up and didn't draw it.
But it's dark on the outside of the column.
Behind the columns is kind of shadow, yes.
Okay.
So like
All right. Let me see here. I don't. God. Guess I'll try and go after Reek.
So, like, on the outside of that ring would be kind of shadow and darkness.
Reek's a human, though, anyway, right?
He is a human, yeah.
So he's probably not using dark vision. Yeah, okay. I'm going to, yeah, because, I mean, our main goal here right now is to get the keys from Reek, right? So, I'm going to, clack my heels to activate the speed boots. And then I'm going to go, yeah, I'm gonna go to them. Oh, that's weird. Is that within melee of him right there? Or do I need to be overlapping him? He's like kind of in between the grid, I guess.
Yeah. If you hold Alt while you move your token around, you can kind of like place it more
Okay,
precisely.
That's fine right
Yeah.
there.
He is currently sitting, so he's basically prone. So your attacks would currently have advantage on him in melee.
They also would because I have assassinate.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this. 26.
26 is a hit. And is it an auto crit too, or is that just if it's a surprise? Or if you went before him you go before him in initiative, right?
If I go before him in initiative, I get advantage. If it's a surprise, it's a crit.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's surprised or not. That'd be your call.
He would be able to see you coming, basically, because he doesn't have dark vision.
Alright, so it's not a surprise. I get to attack him again.
Uh, 27. Yep, that's a hit.
That's another 12.
31 total.
I'm guessing. So again, attacking with the offhand, that would be part of the bonus action. Is that what that is?
Yeah, you can
Yeah, bonus-
basically attack freely with your offhand. Yeah.
Is that using the bonus action or is that
Yes.
not?
It is using the bonus action.
Okay, so then I can't do it. Then my turn's over.
Oh, because you bonus actioned with your boots.
Correct.
I thought the
31.
boots were a free action.
Say again.
I thought the boots were a free action.
Nope, they're a bonus action to
I
use.
thought they were a bonus action.
They are.
I can read it real quick.
Boots of speed, right?
Yeah.
Bonus.
You can use a bonus action to click the boot heels together. Yeah. So Garn, you're up.
So this is. It looks like blood in the pool, right?
It does, yes.
So I walk up to it. I take it to alchemy jug. I go salt water and tip over the alchemy jug so it's pouring the salt water into the blood.
Okay.
You're trying to increase the salinity of it?
I'm hopefully screwing up the ritual, you know, getting the blood messed up so it's not, you know, blood.
So you're telling me we should pee in it?
If you want to come pee in it, you go right ahead.
Kill him via osmosis.
And then I go up and get underneath where the chain is.
Okay.
'Cause,
So you're
'cause-
in the blood now?
again, if this is to scale, I thought he had a little bit more room than that. But if I need to be, sure, why not?
No, I'm just curious. I don't know if I'm understanding what you're doing then.
I tipped over the alchemy jug and started it working, and then I walked over to flank the angel. But the main reason is just to be behind the angel, so he's got another target. If you know,
You are in the blood. The blood would be about up to your thigh now, and you're between the angel and the stone pillar that he's chained to. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just trying to get a visual.
Yes. So this red ring basically is like the edge of the stone that's raised. They're like, and then within that red ring is a pool of red blood.
That's what I thought.
Or yeah, like dark blood. It's very thick when you step into it, Garn. But the jug begins to pour salt water into it. And then yeah, they're behind you now. There's a stone pillar that's just about as tall as you are, and at the top of it there's a ring, and then there's a ring from the chain attaching to the stone pillar, attaching to the chain that's attached to the angel.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, my action was to get the alchemy jug.
As the angel has raised his blade above his head and cast the divine light out throughout the chamber, his blade kind of erupted in flame, and now it is currently billowing with flames up the blade of his sword.
Is this guy the Lord of Light?
Reek is up. Dodge out of the way. We can't dodge. From inside of his ragged robes, Reek, in the shadows between you and him, you see him draw a long, curved blade, about twice the length of a normal dagger, but not quite as long as a short sword. He looks up at you, Wuce, and he strikes out at you with his weapon.
There's not much shadow in between us, right?
No, not much really. You know, there's still light from these pillars here, kind of. You know, you can see like the illumination of your features. And,
I just mean because we're right up on each other.
Yeah, you're right up on each other. Yeah. Oh shit! He rolls a natural one.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
You know, you can see his hands are kind of bloody, and he just looks like a mess. And as he stabs out at you after you've driven your swords into him a few times, the blade just kind of slips out of his blood-coated hands and clatters to the floor between you. He stands and cunning action disengages. No, he cunning actions to double his move, provoking an attack of opportunity from you. And he said, as he begins to run, turns his back and begins to move away from you, he says, I'm tired of service. You will not send me. Will not send me to where you sent Magnus. And he begins like running away. But you can take an attack of opportunity if you wish.
Damn right I will. And my response to that is, just give us the keys and you can go on your way. All we want is the keys.
As he drops the dagger, the reason he actually says that is as the dagger falls from his hands, the halo of necrotic energy disappears from above his head. And this look of shock kind of comes over his eyes and as he starts to take in his surroundings. And he knows that Magnus is dead, and he says, you won't send me to where he is.
So I noticed a change in him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I still say, just give us the keys. And then, as like a gesture of me realizing there's a change in him, I will forego attacking him with the opportunity.
Okay.
But I'll do it in a way that he, like, I want him to realize I'm doing it, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. And as he reaches the far side of the chamber, and he hears that, you see he begins to rifle through his satchel at his side. And Sorey, you're up.
Did everyone else hear that too, or we're within earshot, right?
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it. Sorry.
I'm like 50 feet away from them. I can hear them.
I mean, it just depends on how loudly Wuce says it. You know, the Reek is like running away from him, so if he yells it out, you know, it kind of echoes through the chamber a little bit. It just depends on how loudly Wuce says that he says it.
If he can hear me, Sorey should be able to hear me.
What's your passive perception, Sorey?
They're only 10 feet apart in distance from me.
11.
So, you know, you hear him shouting something, but you've been knocked prone by this divine blast, and your ears might be ringing, so maybe you didn't. It's hard to say. I guess that would be up to you.
So what would it take for me to stand up?
15 feet of movement.
Alright, I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, I forgot. I can't. I could only got to do where the alchemy jug was because I got knocked prone.
I guess I'll ignore whatever's going on in the background and focus on this angel shit in front of me.
So
Shooting that magic missile.
bolts of magical energy spring forth from Sorey's hand. Kind of moving past and around you, Sigismund, and one after another just blasting into the angel as he still has his arms raised above his head. Got anything else, Sorey?
No, that's it.
You're just gonna stay right there?
Yep.
Okay. Thalia, you're up.
Yes, so I was not knocked prone if I
You
like,
made your
stood
save. Yeah,
above.
you made your save, so you were not knocked prone.
So I can move up to the angel, right?
Yep.
So I'll do that, and attacking with a goading attack. I'll add 1d8 to the attack roll.
Okay.
So, or I don't even have to, right?
You don't have to. No, 24 is a hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the angel has to do a wisdom. Is it wisdom? Yeah, wisdom saving throw. The save is 16. Okay. Now he has. disadvantage if he attacks someone else but me.
Okay.
And I'll attack. What this word means, to be honest.
It's like a taunt.
Provoke, yeah.
Yeah.
Taunt.
Besides striking him with your blade, is there anything you say or do?
Think about
Blow raspberries at him.
that.
You have another strike as
know
well.
I just also swing with my swing my foot and sprinkle him with blood or something like this.
Okay, sure.
You want
another attack him again? Yeah.
Yeah. Without any modification. 15?
15 is a miss.
All right.
I like how we went from trying to free him to now we're just like, fuck it, let's kill him.
I haven't tried to kill him.
No, it's those dirty fuckers.
Well, what happens if we kill him and we like accomplish whatever this ritual is?
We just fucking sacrifice him to the evil god. That's fantastic.
Right? So I'm like, just saying.
The angel turns towards you with a flecks of blood now spattered across his face, Thalia, and swings with great speed and force his fiery greatsword down upon you. Does 19 hit?
No.
Does 22 hit?
No.
Nice. So you raise your shield in front of you, and he cracks down on your shield with great force twice, sparks flying out from his blade from the flames that have engulfed it. Sigismund, you're up.
Alright. Well, considering he didn't attack us from the start, he might retain some control. So I'll try to cast protection from evil and good on him.
Don't forget, he couldn't come out of where that circle is. The chain wouldn't go that further out.
Well, it's hard to tell how long the chain is because it's down in the blood, so he just didn't come out from the circle.
Okay.
The chain's not taut right now?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if we have an hour, if you just hold him down for an hour, maybe I could cast like a ritual atonement on him, but that would probably be...
When you had cast Detect Magic Garn, you could kind of sense the magic of the chain, and, it's kind of like predator vision. You can kind of see the aura through the blood. The chain actually looks pretty long. It looks like it's kind of coiled and up in a pile.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Protection from good and evil. So basically, I think this. This might be interesting. Okay. So you cast protection from good and evil on the angel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
All right. 16.
16. So you take half of 34 radiant and fire damage. So 17. 17.
Yeah, but with the radiant damage, I had to take half of that as well.
Okay.
So what part of that is radiant?
So the 14 is radiant, so take 7 of that. No, sorry, the 14 is fire. So you take half of.
So 7 of that.
Yeah, 7 of that, and then the 20 is radiant, so you take half of that.
5.
Yeah. 11, and he's going to make a wisdom saving throw. which he just barely succeeds.
What did he take the damage from?
It kind of blasts out from the angel himself.
It's like a contact thing.
But then the front of the harness that's around the angel's midsection begins to there's like chain links down the front of that as well, and the links of the chain begin to snap and break apart, and the harness falls down off of the angel into the blood.
Oh shit.
The flames of his blade kind of flicker and fade away, and instantly he regains a little bit of color in his pale skin. The dark eyes that were looking down upon you flicker, and he closes them. His eyes flutter and he blinks, and when they open again, the pupils have returned to like this golden color, and the black wings begin to shed, and the black feathers begin to fall, slowly drifting down into the pool of blood until it's like totally covered the surface, and white feathers begin to grow and sprout out from the bare wings. For a moment they kind of look like a sphinx cat a little bit, like they're kind of leathery and bare skin, and then they begin to sprout white feathers. I'm gonna have to name this guy pretty quickly, so let me grab my book real quick.
Garfield.
And he looks down at you, Thalia, and Sigismund, and he looks around the chamber, and his deep voice kind of no, his name can be Garfield. That's cool. He looks down at you, Sigismund, and this celestial voice, and like his lips don't move, but you can still all hear the him speaking. And he says, "I thank you, mortals. What is this place?"
I would never abandon one of the light, brother. And this is a temple to Baal in the Shadowfell.
He says, again, his voice still kind of, it's not like really in your minds necessarily, it's kind of vibrating out from him, and his mouth is just still. He says, "I have no memory of how I got here, but I believe if it wasn't for your appearance, I surely would have faced a grim end. You may ask one thing of me, and I will do it for you. And then I will return to my realm."
How long do we have to?
Huddle.
Let me amend that statement. You may ask one thing of me, and I will do it if I'm able, before I return to my realm. And after he says that, you hear like the clatter of stone behind you all, and you see that Reek's like tossed the 2 tablets out on the ground before him, and he's like moved behind a pillar, and he's like kind of peeking his head out, but he's like cowering back there.
Are these are those the missing keys?
They are.
Or that I
So
use a piece of cloth to pick up the blood letter, and then I go over there and grab the keys, and put the keys in the bag of holding, and I say to Garn and Sorey, at some point we should probably try and figure out what this thing does, like showing them the dagger thing. I put that in the bag of holding as well.
Okay.
So we're out of combat.
Out of combat.
Um,
The angel's skin like kind of turns from a pale white to like kind of a humanoid tone, and then it ends in kind of like a metallic-y, not like metallic-y, but like a like a like a like a royal blue almost. And as he says that, like his wings are still sprouting these long, elegant white feathers with like little kind of uh, uh, tinges of gold that kind of glitter over the tops of them as the light of the torches kind of flicker and dance. You know, this golden, it kind of bounces now off this golden sheen off the white wings that sprout after he sheds all the black ones.
So do we want to ask him to see if he can bring us back to the prime material plane, or do we have something else we'd rather ask him?
I think that would be the best thing, but before see if he can do it.
What's the deal with the Alessandra?
Yeah,
She
we need.
in here?
Oh yeah, I should have put her in the combat.
She waited outside.
No, she's in the room as well. She's standing up next to Sorey, and she's just kind of like her mouth's kind of like open and agape at the sight of the transformation of the angel. She hasn't seen something like this good or divine in a very long time. And Sorey, you can kind of see like tears are welling up in her eyes.
But we need to get her people and her together at the same time. So if he's only going to do one thing, if he can do it at all.
Garfield says, I can send you all back to the prime material plane. That is within my power.
To where we need to go, where we want to go, or is it just the prime material plane?
I can take you anywhere within the bounds of the prime material plane.
Gotcha. I reach out, or I walk into the blood up to where the chain was located, where the chain and everything was located. It's stone, right?
The pillar is stone, yes.
Okay. I reach out my hand, and where the stone held the chain, I do stone shape, and now there's a 5-foot version of Thardhar there with his hands up in the air shooting birds.
Nice.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
I'm over by Recon. It's Robert, right?
His brow kind of furrows and he gets this blank expression on his face and he says, once I was known as Robert, a long time ago.
You should know that my party and I have killed the rest of the group you were following. I don't know if you know that or not. You're free to do what you want. Just know that we're not I don't have any ill will towards you.
He says,
know. You're welcome to join us. Come back to the other. What's it called? Primary.
the prime material plane. Yeah.
The prime material plane. I'm guessing you probably don't want to stick around here.
He says, I saw Magnus fall.
Hard.
I thought when he died I would be free, but I was still bound to the service of Baal. It wasn't until the dagger fell from my hands that I regained my senses. He says, I owe you a debt for freeing me from the prison I've been living in for these past years. I've done terrible things. But if you let me, please, I would like to return with you.
Well, come over here.
I look at the rest of the group. I think we're okay with that. Right, guys?
Sure, come over here.
Sure.
Let me show you how forgiving I am.
Oh no.
He begins to move towards you, Garn.
He turns him into a stone statue of Third Heart.
With everybody in a Sorey, please move up a little bit, please.
Oh, I know what's happening.
Yeah. So I kissed. I kiss it. Yeah. I
Who you kissing?
I kiss myself because I'm casting the spell. So I cast Healing Spirit, including the angel and him and the new guy.
Cool.
His name's Robert. Robert Paulson. Are you like kissing your arm, like practicing making out?
So everybody's healed 67 hit points.
Oh yes.
I cast that as a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, that's too
Bam.
bad we can't go over and have like 10 HP. That'd be fucking slick.
Yeah, but that would be really overpowered with the spell.
No, it totally would be.
And that spell works very differently in combat.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Oh,
Combat,
because you just accumulate the rounds right now, right?
right? If we weren't all standing together, I could move it 30 feet during as a bonus action, and every person that it hit in that 30 feet, I could heal.
For
But it's only
1d6.
one-
Yeah.
Right, or if it's cast up 2d6 or 3d6. But
Yeah.
it's again one time around. If we were fighting a dragon and everybody kept going down, I would cast this so I could go, okay, you're healed. Get up, get up, get up.
Yeah.
I would use that
So
instead of doing healing word.
Yeah.
So you're healed too, then?
But some
Oh, yeah, all of
some
it.
type of animalistic spirit is basically like moving through you again over and over again, infusing
what's
life
it-
into
it-
you. Yeah.
It looks like something then? It looks like an animal kind of thing?
Actually, the way I was picturing it is a thing of grass is almost like a shambling mound. It just moves and caresses over people,
Yeah.
and then it takes care of the wounds that way.
So not like tumbleweed?
No, not like tumbleweed.
So
The
don't forget
angel,
to give yourself full up then too.
The angel, you hear him say, so you wish to be returned to the prime material plane. This is your request.
We have other people that have to come with us also, or can you only take a certain number?
I can take whoever you wish. They do not even have to be here. You just have to think of them in your minds.
I tell what's her name to think of her in their mind,
Okay.
if she's got one.
Alisanda begins to think of her people that are out in the ruins of Shadow Omu.
I think of Thardhar.
Okay. And he says, think of the location that you wish to appear in the prime material plane, and you shall do so.
Wait. Does that mean that Um,
It has to be a location you've seen.
so if people so for Robert to come where we're at, would it make more sense for us to think of him and then think of the location? Or he's been there, he knows where it's at.
So whatever location you're thinking of, you will appear in. So Robert might appear in some location he thinks of on his own.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the group, we should think of the same place.
Alessandra will think of the last place she remembers back before she was transferred here, which was Mesro.
I'd say the fighting place that we had that we first met these guys at.
What if we ask Alessandra to tell us where specifically she's going? So if you run into artists on Schalt, we could tell them where to find her.
Mesro once lied southwest near the central portion of Cholt.
All right.
So, were you familiar with normal Omu or just here Omu?
She had been to Omu, but it was 100 years ago.
So there's nothing she could help us out, like location-wise or shrine-wise?
She can appear in a place in Omu that she's seen, but not where you've seen, So it's like,
I understand that, but I'm saying if we show her a map, would she be able to point it out?
It would have to be a physical memory.
No, can she point out where the shrines are at on the map? Not where she's going, but is there a possibility she knows where the shrines are at?
The shrines may have not yet been built back then.
That's why I'm asking.
She seems to be unsure of what you're talking about.
Okay, and I just say to Robert, hey, you're welcome to go wherever you want, but we're going to the spot where we first came across you guys. If you're really wanting to, pay your debt or come adventuring with us, Sonomi, that's what we'll be.
He looks at you and he says, if you have something you wish me to do, then I will do it.
I mean, you seem...
Otherwise, I would like to be as far away from this place as I can possibly get.
I can't speak for the group, but I mean, just if you're willing, I mean, if you're going somewhere else, pay it forward. Otherwise, yeah, you can join us if you want. But if you're not doing that, just try and pay forward with good acts.
He nods at you.
And tell our story. Just out of curiosity, where are you going, though? In case, we end up in your neck of the woods, come check up on you.
He says, even before I fell in with Magnus, I never had many pleasant memories before that. But like I said, I've done many terrible things. And I have a lot to make up for. I think I will go to Red Larch. I did a lot of bad things there. Maybe I can start atoning for my sins at the beginning.
Well, if we're ever in Red Larch, I'll stop by and see how you're doing. And sorry you had to go through your bad experiences, but hopefully you can use the rest of your life to make things right.
I'll try. So you guys want to be sent to The place where you first encountered Magnus?
I think it'd be best because there's a temple right there that we can, rest up in for a night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make sure that the King of Feathers isn't stomping around right there when you return. And as you all settle, the angel asks you to clear your mind. Think of each other and think of the place that you want to appear. And you close your eyes and you begin to feel this pull, like if you've ever been on one of those like gravity rides at a fair where you like lay against the wall and it spins around really fast and you're like pushed against the wall, like you begin to feel this pull kind of. And after a few moments you begin to hear tropical birds chirping and fluttering, and a soft rain is pouring down your faces, and the air smells crisp and clean. And
That's one way to get off the blood.
you open your eyes and you see a tropical landscape. Beside you is an overturned cart and a bit of scorched earth where Riceak had bathed this part of Omu in flame with his harp, and it's looks like it's night. Night is probably approaching, and off in the distance you hear a loud roar on the far side of Omu, of a loud dinosaur roar on the far side of Omu, and you find yourselves out of the Shadowfell. You all kind of look at each other in turn. Alessandra is gone. Reek is gone, and the angel is gone. Sigismund, you hear in your mind as you open your eyes, "Take care of my sister," in the angel's voice. "Protect the lady as she protects you." And the angel is gone as well.
Damn. We fucking did it!
I'm hearing dust in the wind in my head.
I'm gonna head towards the camp that we had found Magnus and them in and start working on a tiny hut.
Okay, sure. Sorey begins to create a shelter for you all for the evening, and you each gain 4,260 experience each.
Oh.
You get triple experience for saving the angel instead of killing him. You get a bonus of 10,000 experience for releasing Reek of his bond from Ball and letting him go free.
Whoa.
And then you get like around 4,000. So the total for the session was 21,000 something. I divided it by 5, so 4,260 each.
Sweet.
So we're at 37,360.
You do notice that the body of the bard who died before you transferred into the Shadowfell is gone, as well as all of his items. And you all clamber into Sorey's tiny hut for a... I mean, you all probably like just collapse in exhaustion and have a very deep night of sleep.
Real quick. What number did you say, Sorey? For EP?
He's off a little bit. It should be 38,260.
That's what I have. I didn't know if that's what he said or not. That's what I was asking. Also, is our translator still here?
He is. Yeah, he has kind of set up a makeshift shelter nearby the ruined cart. As you all appear, he kind of comes out and he seems happy to see you again. He says that he narrowly escaped some Yuan-ti had came by, and he narrowly escaped being discovered by them, and asks you what happened and where you went when you went through the portal, and that's where we'll pick up next week.
This guy's full of shit. He didn't see anything. He just did.
Well, I'm glad he's still here. You know, he could have pieced out on us.
That's true.
This fucking bloodletter, man.
I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, I thought we did real well. What do you think?
You definitely know that, there's still now in the Shadowfell 2 more dark temples to dark gods awaiting to see what happens when the Soulmonger, or if the Soulmonger ever completes its purpose. So that's in the back of your minds, certainly. And you probably all never want to see the Shadowfell again, but
I've kind of grown attached to it.
yeah. You do notice, those of you with dark visions still, now that night is coming, like, you're having a really hard time. One moment you see Wuce standing there, and the next moment he's gone, and it's hard to keep your eye on him.
And I'm really emo now too, I think.
You have hair falling down in front of one of your eyes.
So so whatever Alessandra said is true. Whatever, likely you think it had something to do with the stone that from Magnus, when it was removed, something about it was left behind within you.
I grab someone's loot and start playing brand new songs.
Nice.
Singing about Love's Lost.
Yeah, well done. I had put a post up in the Roll20 forum just about thinking about what you guys want to do once the game, is over. Because I'll probably, once we finish Tomb of Annihilation, I don't see any reason why we can't continue playing beyond the module. So start thinking about like what your characters might do if you solve the death curse, and I know in June they're going to announce a new adventure that their Wizards is releasing. So depending on what that is, we can continue with this game, or if that gets released by the time we're finished, we can always either start new characters and check out that new adventure if it seems cool. My personal opinion, what I think it's going to be is I think it's going to be a city adventure in Waterdeep, maybe having something to do with Xanthar. Or it might be somehow entwined with Mordenkainen, because the Tomb of Foes is coming out just before that. But that would be my guess. But just start thinking about what you might want to do after we get done with the Tomb of Annihilation, depending on if everyone survives or not. And hopefully the way I change and it's kind of my mistake that I ran for a long time, really only giving. I did tend to add bonus experience for role playing and things like that, but majority of your experience up till now has just been coming from defeating combat encounters. So I'm trying to change the way that I do experience, so hopefully that makes the game a little more interesting. instead of just having to kill everything to advance yourselves. And I need to take a piss real quick, but if Garn and Sorey, if you guys can hang out for me, maybe drop down into the secret channel so I can talk to you guys for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a piss real quick, and then I'll be right back.
Ooh,
But-
ooh.
Hey,
but-
while you're at it, can you identify this bloodletter?
No, don't do that right now, because I gotta make up a spell card for it, or an item card for it.
I was joking, dude.
Yeah, but I'll be right back. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for.
You guys.
And thank you all for anybody who's watching Tomb of Annihilation on Twitch. Please come and join us next time. And you can always check out my YouTube channel to catch the series from the beginning.